Hello there, and today I'm going to be doing the sequel to one of my earlier videos of my board game collection. And I did mention in that video that I would probably need a second one to cover all the games that I have currently. And I don't even know if I'll get through all of them in this video because it's still a lot. But I will try. So we have a few games that we don't play super often. They're more like party games that you pull out when you've got like a random group of people over or something. I don't know. This is one of them. Slam words dice. So it's pretty loud. I don't know if it's gonna be too loud. Hold on. Okay, I think maybe if I hold it far enough away from the phone, then you could do it. But basically, you make it into a cup, and then you roll the dice. And then you put it on the table, slam it down, and then whatever the letters are, you have to make as many words as you can with the letters that are shown. The only thing is, it's only the 3 dice, so I feel like you don't have too many options. Anyway, this isn't really a board game so much as a party game, but I'm including it because I like the plastic sounds. Okay, next one. This is one that we recently got as a gift. We do get a lot of board game gifts because people know that we like them. But you know when you get gifts from people who aren't into board games, but they know you are? That's kind of the vibe I get from this. But I could be wrong because we haven't played it before. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It's a 2 to 4 player game. Challenge yourself and your friends with fascinating questions about the wonders that make up our planet. Never mind, it's a quiz game. I'm sorry, but no. Is that bad? Maybe I'm dumb, but no thanks. If we ever do play it, maybe I'll give it a real go. But anyway. And also, again, not really a board game, but we play it every time we have a game night, and that's Uno. We love Uno. And there's so many different, versions of Uno. We did get this one, and I've not seen this one too many other places. It's really fun to play. It's a bit infuriating, to be honest, which makes it fun. It's Uno Dark Side, I think is what it's called. No, Uno Flip. But you flip the cards from the light side, like this, to the dark side. It took us a little while to work out the colors. It seems simple now looking at it, but the yellow goes to orange, the blue goes to the kind of turquoise, and then I guess green is the purple and red is this one, unless that's green and that's blue. No, that's gotta be blue, right? See what I mean? I don't know. Anyway, it's a fun one. We love Uno. This next one, I don't really know if it's classed as a board game or a card game, because technically you play it with cards, but you do kind of have a board a little bit, I guess. It's this one. It's Bonanza. To bean or not to bean. Now, I'm pretty sure this game was made originally in German because I ordered this game in like the smaller version and the entire thing was in German, including the cards. But we still played it. So we would just use the numbers to identify the card instead of the actual words, because the words were all in German and we couldn't read it. And I also had to look up the rules in English every time we played because I'd forget what the rules were. And again, I don't read German, so. But we did get a new version. I forget if we got one or were gifted it. I think my parents or somebody gave us their version of the game, and then we gave away the German version to some friends of ours. But basically, in this game, you have a bunch of different like beans, and you plant them in your fields, and then you uproot them to get coins. So there's like chili bean, there's coffee beans, a cocoa bean, a stink bean, blue bean, anyway, wax bean. It's a fun one. It's a good like quick game. You can do it with lots of players, which is nice if you've got a bit of a crowd. Yeah, I like Bonanza. It's kind of like I would rank it up there with like Exploding Kittens, as far as it's really easy to learn how to play and fun for like parties and stuff. Okay, next one. So next I've got Color Brain, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, I just trashed the other one for being like a quiz game, but this one's kind of a quiz game too. When we got this one, I was thinking it would kind of be like the Hues and Cues, if you've ever played that one. We've played it, but we don't own that one yet. Mostly because that one, okay, so forget this for a second. Hues and Cues has like a big board, and then it's got a bunch of different colors, and all the different shades of the colors. And the goal is that you get a card, and it tells you your little square of color, and you've got to give clues for people to guess that color without using the name of the color. Well, my partner and my best friend's partner, they would think of like the most guy ways to describe these colors, like just so dumb. And then they'd have something like a lilac, and they'd just say pastel is their clue. And we're like, what do you mean pastel? That could be literally any color. That's not helpful. And then they'd say like, not pastel. Like, that's not the game. Anyway, this one is Color Brain. And you're given all the different colors of cards, and then you're given a question, and you have to guess like which colors correspond to that question. So like the examples on here are, what color is the lid on a container of semi-skimmed milk? Or there are two types of squirrels in the UK. What colors are they? And then you've got to put them in, and then if you're right, you get points. But this is not like, this is more of like a fun quiz game, you know? Like, it's not asking you trivia, it's just kind of fun facts sort of thing. The only problem with games like this, though, is once you've played through all the questions, then it's kind of no good anymore. I don't think we've played it through enough times to have, like, played all the questions, but we're definitely not far off. And then, kind of like along with the other ones, this is not a board game, but because I'm getting into the second half of my collection now, it's kind of a bit more eclectic. So we do have like an off-brand Jenga. We have played this a few times. Oh gosh, I don't know if I can open it with these nails. I was gonna tap on the little wood pieces. Hold on. I'll try to get into it. One sec. Okay, got it. I play this occasionally with my husband, and I always lose. I have really bad, like, balancing skills in general, but I guess it translates to my fine motor skills because I'm just really not that good at it. And I'd like to tell you that I'm not like a sore loser, but I totally am. Like, I totally get when kids throw a big fit when they lose a game, because sometimes it is so frustrating. And I didn't play Exploding Kittens for like 6 months because my husband beat me like 10 times in a row. And I was like, I'm never playing this game again. I really rage quit. This next one is a board game that I impulse bought because I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe there's a board game of this. If you are in the UK, then maybe you're familiar with this as well, but it's a board game based on a reality show that came out on the BBC, and I think they either are currently making the next season or they just put out the last season of it. I need to catch up on it. I don't have a lot of time to watch TV at the minute, but when the first season came out, I binge watched the entire thing over the course of a weekend, and I became obsessed with it because, like, I very, very rarely watch TV, but if I do, it's more than likely that it's like trash reality TV. I don't know. So anyway, it's the traders. Get them before they get you. I've attempted to play this a couple times, but to be honest, I need to be in the right group because I need other people who are also like really into the show, so they kind of put their all into it. look how cute. This is the little spinner in the middle of the board. It's the little dagger. Isn't that so cute? And then there's like the little coins. And also at certain points in this game, this is what I mean about like needing people who are into the show and want to like commit. At parts of the game, you've got to all be blindfolded. The game instructions tell you that you're supposed to like play loud music and wear the blindfolds. That way you can't see or hear, because one of the people at the table or multiple are the traitors and you don't want to give away who it is. So like, it's almost like murder mystery mixed with a board game. I think it sounds really cool. I'm really excited to actually get to play it. It feels like the kind of board game that the whole night needs to revolve around. Like everyone dresses up and then like you plan it out. I don't know. That sounds really fun to me, but you gotta find the right group of people to do it with. At the minute, I don't know how many friends we have that would be down for that, but you never know. Anyway, next one. This one here is Recco. I don't actually know when this game came out, but I played it for the first time with my grandparents, and their version of it was really old, and I remember it being difficult to find like a modern, newer version of it. It's very simple in its concept, and I find that this is the kind of game when we want to just sit and chat, but we want to do something like to play a game as well. This is the perfect game to play while you're like chatting with people, because you don't have to think too much about it, but it's just enough. So you have 10 like little slots, and then you put your cards in a random order. You're dealt like the 10 cards, and then the goal of the game is to just get the cards into numerical order, and whoever does that first wins. So you go around and you swap a card out and kind of put it where you want it. It's a good game. It's like 50% strategy, 50% luck. It's a good one. It's one like at the end of the night when you don't feel like playing one where you have to think a lot. Like we pull out Recco a lot. I'm curious if you are watching this and you're very into board games. Have I named like some of your favorites yet? Or are some of your favorites ones that I don't own? Because there are a handful that are on my wish list. Like Wingspan is one of the ones that I really want, but like board games are so expensive. Like some board games are like $50-$60, and it's just a lot. But there are ones that I'd like to get. One of the games I want to get is a proper full version of this one. So this is Ticket to Ride, but it's the New York version. So this one, does it say? Yeah, it's 2 to 4 players, which is nice because I don't think that the bigger version of Risk you can really play with just 2 players because the map is just so big. But this is like a tiny, it's like a mini version kind of the bigger game. So like that's kind of fun. But version as well. But it's basically, instead of the entire map of the US or wherever you're doing it, it's just the map of New York. And I could be wrong, but I think in the original game the cards are full-sized, and this one has like the teeny tiny ones, which is kind of cute. And then because it's New York, the little like game pieces are tiny little like cars instead of like the locomotive, the train ones. So I think that's cute. And I think possibly there's a mix of like cars and like subway. Gosh, I don't know what they'd be called. Subway cart things. I don't know. Anyway, you get the idea. Have you been to New York? This sounds pretty nice. I'll tap on it for a minute. I have been to New York a handful of times, but to be honest, I'm not really a city girl. I'd much rather go, like, I don't know, to a national park or something. Okay, I think I might actually be able to get through the rest of my games. Because I've only got 4 left. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing on this video though, because I keep making too much noise or like knocking things over. Anyway. Next up I've got Risk. I guess technically we do have 2 versions of Risk. The other version that we have, though, is my husband's from childhood, and it's probably missing like half the pieces, and it smells like really funky, and I don't know why. So for his birthday, I got him a new version of Risk, and this one is the Peaky Blinders edition. I've actually never seen this show, but he's really into it. The only things I know about the show, I know from this game. All I know is there's like different gangs, and you're trying to get the different territories, and the characters of each gang are like, what does it say? I think it's like, I don't know, I think the IRA is one of them. Maybe it doesn't. I think it does. Hold on, because now I'm curious. Okay. I'm looking and I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. The IRA is one of them. Okay, so it's the Peaky Blinders, the Birmingham Boys, the Jewish Gang, the Sabinis, and the IRA. Okay. There's so many game pieces in Risk. I'm trying to remember what it is in the original game, but in this one, it's got like the little guy with just like a fist, like he's gonna beat somebody up. And then you've got the next best guy, because he's got a horse. Whoops, dropped him. And then, best of all, is like this little car. I guess you could like run somebody over with it or something, I don't know. This game is probably my second favorite next to Catan. I think it's highly, highly underrated. And that is Sequence. I feel like Sequence is such a crowd pleaser. I've never played this game with anyone who wasn't like, oh, I need to buy that, to have that. Like, it's perfect for a crowd. It's perfect if it's just two people. It doesn't require too much thought, but you do need strategy. It's fun to play alone. It's fun to play with partners. My husband and I have this on our phones, and we play it on our phones all the time and compete with each other too. Like, it's really fun. So basically, the game is you've got like these little tokens, and the board game corresponds with these little cards. So, I mean, it's mostly luck, I suppose, in a sense that like you just get the cards you're given. I'm explaining this so badly. I'm usually pretty good at explaining board games, but it's really late. Anyway, basically, it's like a giant game of Connect 5, but you have cards as well. Anyway, I promise you it is a fun game. If you're looking for a board game to get, I would really recommend this one, because it's also not terribly expensive. Yeah. We do really love this one. And it is quick. I was just reading the little thing on the box, because it says it's fun, it's quick, it's challenging, it's exciting, it's Sequence. 5A row fun for everyone. I can't really disagree with any of what they've said. Alright, second to last is this game. Chameleon. Blend in, don't get caught. You've probably seen either this game or similar ones. There's quite a few online games with similar premises. It's like you've got one card that gives you a prompt, and then everybody else knows the prompt except one person, and you've got to try to give clues that don't give the word away and figure out who the chameleon is. And the chameleon is supposed to blend in. Yeah. I feel like this game could be really fun if you've got the right group of people. Anytime time we played it, we always knew instantly who the chameleon was. So maybe it's best if it's like a party and you don't know everybody and you don't know their like, yeah, I feel like it'd be a more fun game to play with like kind of strangers than it would be people you know really well and you can tell instantly if they're lying or kind of trying too hard. But I think that kind of is the point of this one though, because it's up to 8 players and it's like a whodunit party game, basically. And some games really are just nice, like icebreakers, if you're in a bigger group. Although I don't find myself in that situation very often. Anyway. Alright, last game is in a pretty, like, big box, so I'm going to need to rearrange for a moment. Okay. So the last game is Scrabble. And the reason this one is so massive is because it's like the really fancy deluxe version. And I will take it out and show you because it'll make a lot nicer sounds that way. So this one we got as a gift from my sister because she knew that we didn't own a version of Scrabble. And what makes this one so special is that one, it's got like a plastic cover over the board so that it stays like perfectly flat. And then it's got these little ridges at all 4 corners of the tiles. So when you set the little like letter in, it fits perfectly and it doesn't slide around, and if the table gets jostled a little bit, the pieces, they're not going to go flying. The other nice thing about this one, sorry about the squeaking, is that it turns, so like, I can't really see that kind of. So the entire board like twists. So that way, if you're sitting at a table, you can turn the board to face you without like jostling everything around. Also, if I'm remembering correctly, I think in the classic version of Scrabble, the little pieces are wooden. These ones are plastic, and then the letters that are printed on in kind of like this little shiny silver. And it does it makes nice little clicky sounds. Can't speak. Definitely getting tired. This is another game that I've kind of like rage quit playing because the two people that enjoy playing this game with me the most is my mom and my husband, and both of them have like memorized the dictionary of two-letter words, and I swear they win every game with the tiniest little words, and then I always try to put together the biggest, like, longest ones, and I never get any points. If you've never played it and you like to play the game like me, where you kind of do the longer words and try to use up all your letters, then I would recommend getting Bonanza instead. Or not Bonanza. Oh, sorry. I'm so tired. Bananagrams. Bananagrams is like it's like a little version of Scrabble that comes in a little like banana container, and that's basically what it is. You get your tiles, and it's whoever uses up all their tiles the fastest. So it's a little bit different in the scoring. Anyway, I hope that you liked the sounds in this one. I definitely picked the games for the first video that I felt like had the nicest sounds, so hopefully you still found that there were some good ones in here. And if you are a person who likes to play board games, I am really curious to know what your favorite games are. So you should definitely tell me in the comments what games you would recommend me getting.